CLC රන් අය හදිස්සියට පරිස්සම්ම නැහැ. මුල් දවස් 10ට පොලිය ගන්නෙත් නැහැ.
The spread of the Omicron variant is gaining momentum just as much as the Delta variant did, but in a shorter span of time. The World Health Organization says the growth rate of the variant has been exponential, as it has now infiltrated over 106 countries worldwide. Even though Omicron has become the dominant variant in a few countries, researchers and the Global Health Body says that it hasn't become the dominant variant across the world yet. Delta, a variant of concern, is still the dominant variant. This poses another issue, as the other variants of concern, Alpha, Beta and Gamma, only account for a fraction of the world's COVID cases. With that, could it mean that the pandemic can become endemic to certain areas of the globe?
We have actually been having some discussions about whether we need to reclassify Alpha, Beta, and Gamma to change them from being called a variant of concern to maybe a variant of interest, or they become variants of monitoring, strictly because they're not circulating anymore and because Delta has outcompeted those variants. You've been hearing us say that Delta would not be the last variant of concern that we would speak about. Omicron is likely not going to be the last variant of concern that you hear us speak about as well, because the virus continues to circulate. I don't think there's any question of whether or not this virus will become endemic. It's certainly on its way to doing so. But endemic doesn't mean that it's not dangerous, Endemic typically means that it has a lower level of circulation and it's really geographically bound to certain areas, and you'll see flare-ups where you see unprotected populations. And I think we're on our way to that. I don't think anyone questions that. But we're very much still in the middle of a pandemic. And we can't go into an endemic situation in part of the world where the rest of the world is dealing with this in a pandemic type situation. So I think there will be a long transition into how this pandemic ends, into how we get into what SARS-CoV-2 will look like going forward. It is a respiratory pathogen, as you know. So we expect to see some kind of seasonal variation, just due to behavioral factors, but we haven't seen that yet. This virus thrives wherever we allow it, and we don't get that reprieve in those summer months or certain times of the year.
Meanwhile, all preliminary studies conducted so far on vaccine efficacy against the Omicron variant has shown that its neutralization antibody response was low. This reaffirms the need for a third dose or a booster dose to enhance protection following the traditional two-dose regime.
Almost consistently, all of the lab assays have shown a significant reduction in neutralization with the Omicron variant, which means that the Omicron variant needs much higher levels of antibodies in the blood in order to neutralize it. At the same time, there have been studies that have been looking at the other arm of the immune system, which is the T-cell immunity or the cell-mediated immune response, indicating that there is protection that is likely to be retained because the T-cell responses are against a much wider range of antigens on the spike protein, and many of those have not been mutated in Omicron. So chances are that there is still a good amount of T-cell immunity, which should reassure us that vaccines will still continue to protect against severe disease and hospitalization.
Dr. Swaminathan also then went on to say that the need for a much more enhanced vaccine isn't currently needed, but it's at a discussion level.
WHO has set up a technical advisory group to think about the potential for changes in the strain composition of vaccines. We know that a number of manufacturers are already working on Omicron-specific vaccines, but in the meantime, WHO's TAG COVAX has been meeting regularly to develop the criteria for when a vaccine strain change may be needed, and if so, what should be that strain? What should be that consensus sequence? Because, even within Omicron, you have a number of different sequences of all of the thousands of sequences being uploaded. So the committee has to select the consensus specific sequence that manufacturers would need to use if there is indeed a need to switch vaccines. And that would happen if the current lot of vaccines are not providing enough protection.
US authorized Pfizer's antiviral COVID-19 pill for people aged 12 and older at risk of severe illness. It's the first oral and at-home treatment as well as new tool against the fast-spreading Omicron variant. Pfizer said that its medication Paxlovid was nearly 90% effective in preventing hospitalizations and deaths in patients at high risk of severe illness. The company added that recent lab data suggests the drug retains its effectiveness against Omicron.